A few weeks ago, came out to the garden and I started doing a complete video update of the garden, a fall update. And I showed this winter squash, mainly butternut, but also spaghetti squash that I was growing. I harvested cucumbers. I harvested radishes, these big radishes, bigger than a golf ball, but not quite as big as a baseball. There was so much in the garden that I was showing everybody. And I had lots of clips. I harvested the radishes, harvested cucumbers, harvested a whole bunch of squash. Not all the squash, but a lot of the squash. Just, it was a thorough video. And once done, I went into the house to start editing it and put all my harvest away, of course. Well, to my absolute horror, I discovered that half the video clips never recorded. There was an error message. At the time, was not sure what happened. Friends suggested I restart my phone. That happened to her once, so I did that. But I was really bummed because I had harvested all the radish. There were no more radishes really to harvest. I had picked every cucumber off the plant. A few days later, we got some weather that was cold enough to kind of put an end to the cucumber harvest. And I mean, there were some little teeny things growing, but I wasn't going to get any more cucumbers. All that great footage was just lost. And so I was bummed, but life goes on. Well, it was either the next day or the day after that. I came back outside ready to, I knew which of the clips had survived and which hadn't, and I was going to redo the ones that had not survived to the best of my ability. Well, I started the phone recording, hit the button, and I promptly got a message that said my SD card failed. I lost everything. If it hadn't been backed up onto my laptop, I had lost that footage. So I now had no garden footage, plus a bunch of other stuff was gone. Thankfully, a few things had been saved because I had already started editing a few other videos, and if it was in the editor on my phone, it got saved. But I lost everything on my SD card. If it had been saved to the SD card and was not saved anywhere else, I lost it. So as you can imagine, I was pretty bummed out. But life goes on. I will add real quick that I bought that SD card on Amazon. And when I went to Amazon to review the card and give it a 1-star, which I did do, I discovered I had a 6-month return window, and I did get my money back for that card. So if that ever happens to you, just keep that in mind. But I decided to come out here and start just record what I could of the garden again. And so that's what I did. And I spent time going through. I harvested a few winter squash. Mainly I pulled up the plants. A lot of the plants were just dying. So I pulled up parts of it that had nothing growing on it and fed it to the goats. I also pulled up a whole bunch of weeds and other things. Of course, you can tell the weeds have taken over the garden, and there were plenty of weeds that I never even, there was too many to pull up, but some of the ones that I knew the goats would really enjoy, I did pull up and feed it to them. There's, way more work in this garden to do than I could possibly do today, but I got a decent start, but the main purpose was just to share the garden with you. This is some basil that I let go to flower or seed actually. There is some pretty flowers on there, but I just wanted it to go to seed. In a different garden that I had grown squash, I found a basil plant, and I did harvest that for drying. This is a marigold. I had planted a bunch of marigold seeds in here, and I didn't think any of them sprouted. And then After I pulled out a bunch of weeds a month or so ago, I found this beautiful marigold, but it's dying now. When I did the original footage, it was really nice. This is cement that I never planted this in this location. It just started growing in this location. And so it's doing there. This is actually beets. They're way overcrowded. I need to thin them out. But I had planted some beets in that um, feeder. That's actually a waterer that started leaking, so I can't hold water for the goats anymore. Here's some chard. I've never grown chard before, but I got some seeds, and so I'm trying to grow it. Some lettuce I planted. I'm not sure what's all in here. It's a variety. I planted different types of lettuce, and some more radish and stuff. I believe this is turmeric. I planted some turmeric, and then down here ways just starting to grow, I think, is ginger. I did plant some ginger, so I'm thinking that's the ginger, which, if it is exciting, except these are tropical plants, so I'm not sure how they're going to do. These are the sweet potatoes I planted. I don't know if you saw that video where I had a bunch of commercial sweet potatoes that came from the grocery store, and they started sprouting. And so I decided just to try to plant them. I may try to do a row cover. I'm not sure how to do it. And down below you can see the grass, the squash plant. And there is some squash down there still. I did harvest a couple squash. And there's a couple more that are kind of still greenish. There's hope that they're going to ripen, but they weren't ripe, so I didn't harvest them. But I think I got 2, plus all the others I had harvested originally. So I'm happy there. At least I could harvest something during this video. Sadly, so much of it had already been harvested. It was really a bummer losing all that footage. Eventually, well, in the past years, I've always let the goats in here to clean everything out. This year, because I'm trying to do a fall garden, I'm not sure if this will still be alive for them to eat. Maybe it will be. I'm not sure. But, and this is where I was growing cucumbers. On the ground is besides cucumbers, also a spaghetti squash, and I think the squash still may be there. I need to check it. That it wasn't quite harvested. I can't remember now if it was ready to be harvested when I filmed this or not. But all these cucumber vines, a few weeks earlier I harvested a bunch of cucumbers, and by now there was just teeny baby cucumbers that were really looking pathetic. They were never going to make it. So I just took it all down and fed it all to the goats, and they were very, very happy. This actually was filmed a couple days after the original footage, and so that's why my clothes have changed. It was much colder than the other day, and I just wanted to, finish the videotaping and get this video together for you guys. But I tore the cucumber completely out. There's no more cucumber for this year. this is the other bed that I planted. Again, some radishes, some chard, lettuce, a variety of things. There's a lot of weeds in there too. But I just wanted to show you this bed real quick. This is again, this is habanero peppers that I had planted that they never flowered. I bought the habaneros at the grocery store. It was suggested to me that I planted them too late, and others that could have been because they were store-bought. Who knows? And this is just the goats once again enjoying all the plants, the cucumber, squash, whatever that I pulled out of the garden. And I hope you enjoyed this video and you have a wonderful day.